I miss you.
Everyone, welcome back. I always end up so close to the screen. I don't know why I do that. I want to bring up my friend and colleague from Turkey, altug, YILMAZ, and he is a gamification master. He really is a coordinator of gamification in Turkey, and he's going to be talking to us today about the fact that gamification works not just because it's fun, not just because we engage people, not because it crosses generations, but because there's actual science behind it. And so it's nice to have the research that altug will be bringing for us. So I want you to make sure that you're, again, taking notes on this and being ready to ask altug any questions that you have, because when we get into the side of science, it's always so fascinating to see things that we know are true, but that it's actually science behind it. So altug, welcome. So glad you're here with us. Can't wait till we can do this again in person, but glad that you came here with us virtually. So I'll go ahead and let you take over, and I'm right here if you need me.
Thank you, Monica. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you again, Monica and Jonathan. It's a great event. Like you said, last year we were in New Orleans. Right now I'm in Istanbul. It's such an honor to have this slot for the GamiCon 2021. And hello to everyone. I am Ercan YILMAZ from Istanbul, Turkey. I'm a gamification designer and also a lecturer in several universities. And I'm going to talk about science, what's behind of at the gamification. So if you would like to give me a feedback during the session, I create a Menti. And end of my session, what you love from my slides, from my research, and from my projects already shared. I really like to looking forward to what you love from my session. Let me introduce myself with my, and I think you can able to see my screen. Let me see. Yes. Okay. So this is, I'm an educational technology origin guy, actually, and I live in Turkey, and I published 4 books about gamification. And what motivates me, I create and GameFed Turkey for Turkey, and I represent GameFed Turkey. If you have a question about GameFed, International Gamification Federation, non-profit organization for the collecting and make a collaboration for every gamification expert all over the world, you should check gamefed.com. And I'm lecturing in several universities and organize an event for Turkey, like gamification meetup and gamification hackathon, and doing lots of consultancy, which is I'm going to share today. Let's start with the Turkey. We love games. I don't know if you can ever experience and ever visit to Istanbul, which is the great city to experience. After pandemic, maybe you put a list, and at top of that, maybe it could be Istanbul. And we sell ice cream like this, as you can see. We love games in our daily life. We got many traditions like this, and we are very famous with our playful experience. But when when the ice cream wanters try to eat this ice cream, firstly they shocked. Let me introduce the game emotions first for you. This is a photo from Philip Toledano. You can note his name. He is actually a photographer, a professional photographer and lecturer, and he puts many photos from people who who play a game. And as you can see, actually, the games are not only with positive playing. We love to be shocked, as the example, the ice cream. And also we very love to be engaged and influenced and surprised. And also, yes, sometimes we love to hate and we love to be sustainable and very strong emotion about the games and thinking about games. thinking about strategically, thinking about how can I be better myself. And sometimes we hate it, sometimes we lose it, but we love to lose it, and we can able to do again things. And when we achieve that things, yes, we enjoy that. So I think what we are talking about in games, we should always think about 8 core drive. I know that Yukai, the creator of Octalysis model, made a great presentation in GamiCon 2. When I try to gamify experience, I always try to be think about not only the positive thing like accomplish, meaning, and creativity. We also need some scarcity and avoidance and unpredictability. We love to do that. If you ask a question for a player, do you like scarcity? People will say no, but actually yes. So we always try to be engage people with this 8 core drive. What about work? What about play? Yes, in play, we got all 8 core drive, but what about the work? It's very similar, but it has got a red line, and depends to Daniel Pink, actually plays a volunteer work, which is true. And but work is a mandatory play. We create some play for it work, and people just work on it. So please take a note of name Daniel Pink, because I am going to share his drive related to the drive book. The all motivational theories are related to self-determination theory. And when I'm lecturing in university, actually we talk about self-determination theory a lot. And Daniel Pink is famous with this TED talk related to the self-determination theory. And actually he gave 3 things to the people to create an intrinsic motivation, not extrinsic, not about money, not about extrinsic rewards, but we love to games. So playing games with first thing is gamification secret sauce is a autonomy, like a persona. How people can able to engage the game, which they are not engaged. We should think about it. The second one, what about the faces? What about how they can master the game? We think about that. It's not about on a daily thing. We should create some journey. And what about the purpose? It could be a reward. It could be some story. It could be something like they never experienced before. So let's focus on these 3 things. But let me introduce to firstly the game. What is gamification is? When I entered the domain, dear Andrzej Warczewski is giving me a great influence about his game thinking methodology, because I always think about serious games and simulations, and serious games, kind of educational games, are gamification, which is not. So please note game thinking about with Andrzej Marczewski, and he put on at the top the purpose. Yes, we are on the purpose side, not the fun and entertainment side, but we should not focus on gameplay. If you focus on gameplay, it becomes serious game, like a board game, like a simulation, flight simulation, earthquakes simulation. This kind of things are actually on the red side. But what I'm talking about today, only green side, the green gamification. We shouldn't focus on playtime at our job. We should focus on behavior side and business side with the purpose. Let me give some real examples. The games are great. So Minecraft, Tetris, PUBG, they are all great. And they are all games actually. What about the game-inspired playful design? Actually, it's for fun, but there is no gameplay. Yeah, like a piano stairs. You cannot play it, but you have fun with it. And as you can see at the top with the purpose, the serious game, flight simulators, like I've told you, or virtual reality experience. These are things that have a gameplay time, but they call it serious games. But what about Duolingo? So you have to memorize a word. You have to increase the sales. You have to give some feedback for a play. If you target a behavior, it becomes gamification. And gamification is always start with the human. Like I'd always told, if you want to put off weight, for example, or if you want to involve some kind of diet, it depends on human, right? It's always different. So it's about gamification, same. So the word with the human-centric design is very important for gamification future, in my idea. And we always start with the human, and we try to take inspiration from them. which is very close design thinking, because as you can, probably some of them love design thinking too. As I understand that the empathy, which is persona in gamification, is very important to start in the gamification design. So first, depends on the Daniel Pink, as you can remember, autonomy. So try to understand the persona. We call player persona in our gamification design. Who is the target player and what is their emotion? Who is not doing the target behavior? You have to create some proto persona first. Please note these words. Proto persona is actually when you go to some company and if they want to engage their customer or employer. Many of them has some ideas. Yes, we got this kind of persona. We work with the students. We work with the workers, or we work with the government, kind of. So try to take three persona from them, which is not a real persons, but you need to have this proto persona to create some journey. But when you publish the game, and if it could be digital, it could be physical, it could be anything, but if they published and it's running a game, so you have to do the player persona with the real players, and you have to do some research like interview. It could be online during the pandemic, but it could be a face-to-face too. You can do some poll. Did you like the game when you entered the game? Did you have any problem with the game? What is your advice, kind of poll? And you can do the ethnography. Ethnography is the kind of things that people put something on the internet without your asking. Please take a note about this player personas and add your missions. So this is a bank, actually. I work mostly in bank in Istanbul. And they have three persona, actually. One of them is a customer. Second one is a bank employer. And third one is a manager. And if you think about to create some journey with these between us, you have to talk with them. So my first question is going to be a manager, like, which reward you like most at the company without money? You are a manager, right? So second one is a worker. When you last time have a recognition, and how? With email or with physical, or any feedback about that? What about the customer? Yeah, you have a very good relation with the company, with the point based, like some loyalty program. But what about charity program, or what you need from them extra? Yeah, maybe you can be VIP customer or something like that. So we have a question like this in the persona, and we do some session like this, as you can see. So we are trying to create some good player persona. As you can see the photos, we visit their workers, we visit our customers. Why we are doing that? It's very common, I think. Gamification is not one fit size for all. It's always different from company to company. So I love the Gabe Zuckerman word. Probably most of them, maybe you heard his name, but I love this quote. I think gamification is probably more like 75 psychology. That's the reason why persona is very important. And rest of them is the technology. Yeah, I mean, the technology is important for us, like a mobile app. It could be a website too, but you have to focus always human. So we know the players. What about the journeys? So I call it phases and the journeys. How game starts, you have to think about it. How game starts. For example, if you create a board game for a onboarding, you shouldn't play directly. Let them play the board game directly. You have to hide dice, for example. Okay, you have to think about discovery first. I love Amy Joachim model about that. It influenced me a lot, and I really work and use this model in my gamification design. What about the discovery part? Without playing game, how they can be engaged the game without playing. How can I play? What is the rewards? This kind of thing. What about the onboarding? How game starts easily? What is the first steps of the game? It could be avatar, it could be profile, it could be onboarding questions. Okay. What about the habit building? What about tomorrow? Let's make this Friday your best Friday. Let's enter the application and create this KPI, make your sales, then earned this badge. And it's never finished like this. Every player needs some master part, you know, like us, we are doing right now. Ready to share some tips, ready to, can you able to create and build a team and help the team with them. Let me give some example. For example, one company, we built a game. Actually, it has got a videos and documentation. Actually, it's a personal development portal, not like LMS, but it's like people can share things like to communication platform. But we didn't give their password to them. Okay, so they have to be find their code to enter the password. Okay, we have some question posters, and they can enter the buildings. This is a discovery part. I think the Clubhouse right now doing the same thing too. And what about the invitation? It's a good idea. What about the invitation depends to the business targets, like create a room and have more than 100 people. Yeah, that's what exactly Clubhouse is doing right now. And what about the reward? You know, if you can able to invite 5 more people, I can give you 5 more room. That kind of things we need to think. For example, Waze, most popular navigation platform all over the world. When you enter the Waze, they give a baby avatar for you. This is a very typical gamification tactics for actually in all domain. They give a pacifier to you, as you can see. So collect 60 points, then you can be a normal avatar. Then you can have a normal people. So what should I do that? You have to feel urgent. So you, because I'm not a baby, you know, and you cannot able to talk at Waze. So I like to talk. I want to ask question. So please complete your profile. That's a very typical onboarding model. Let me give another example, which I gave last year actually in GamiCon, but I think it's nice to see that the project is still going on. We did a good project for insurance company from Japan, and they have a Dragon Boat concept in their sales team. So they have an 8 team, and they start with beach, and they have some reward island. As you can see, in the middle of month, they have a target with the month. In the middle of month, they can see each other, who is very close to Ireland, and who got the island first. They can choose their own reward. You know, yes, congratulations. They're all Turkish, by the way, as you can do the real screens. Congratulations, you earned this badge. You can choose your own team reward from the catalog because you got first. You can choose a day off. You can choose a oil coupon or this kind of things. So that's very important. A quote from my mentor who lives in Istanbul. He's a Dutch guy. I learned a lot from him. He's a co-founder of GamiCon21. The limitation of your gamification design shouldn't be your technology. It should be your imagination. As you can see, we use technology for our design. So I very believe in gamification design, and I very influenced from also Bernardo too, because he got a very good game master framework too. So gamification design is very important for our success. Let me say it this way. So let's think from intrinsic motivation. What about the purpose? What about the journey? Why, you know, like Simon Sinek, why I should be a part of this game? Why I'm playing this? Okay. So we always try to create some mock-up for the player and create a journey and create showing the whole journey for them. We try to be understand what is the pain points and how can I be able to change pain points to pleasure points. You know, you cannot gamify every steps of a CRM. You cannot gamify every experience touching points of customer journeys. Okay, you need to start with small. You need to find the pain points, and you have to be create some expelling journey to their pleasure journey. Let me give some introduction. This is a leaderboard. So this is exactly leaderboard that we use in Sampo Japan's insurance in Istanbul. So we ask to managers, we ask to players, we ask to customers, like by time, by friends, or by default organizational charts, or how we should put leaderboard by effort league, for example, like a Champions League, you know, like a big market or small markets. You should separate them, not putting in the same leaderboard. Okay. So even a leaderboard creates a very good example for you. What about the daily quiz? Everyone loves quiz, but when it should be a pair, you know, when at the morning and the lunchtime or anytime they can, I don't know. And who should add this? It could be a reward for someone like a question master. You can able to add questions, which I did my project, you know. After a couple months, if they too many successful with the points with the question, they can able to enter questions. So what kind of question you need at the onboarding? Think about onboarding. Do you like to answer a question from your job? If you ask me, I'm not. If I'm already busy, you know. I don't need another question from my job, but I can answer a Guinness World Record question, for example, because it makes me fun. So, as you can see, do you like to ask a question related to jobs, like how many stocks your store sold yesterday? Try to be imagined, or it could be related to company, when your company built first, or what is your CEO's daughter's name, or kind of stuff. How many chairs you got in the floor? This kind of question, for example, is close to company. What about not related to company? On onboarding, we always ask a funny question, like Guinness World Record question. What the age of oldest person and where he lives, for example. Or general culture questions, like when Turkey founded with whom? 1923, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk kind of questions. These are very important questions when you are creating a journey. What kind of questions coming when? So this is a very typical questions. What about the rewards? It seems always easy, like reward island, which is not. What about budget? You know, we shouldn't focus on extrinsic rewards too much. Gamification is not, we are not designing gamification for extrinsic rewards. Okay, we are not doing coupons. We are not doing gamification design for extra income. We always try to be great, intrinsic motivation. What about the Zoom with the CEO? One of my customers giving that with the CEO. What about shareable lessons? What about the coupon with the GamiCon? Right now, one of my students, right now in listening, Izel, so it was a reward for her because she is doing great translation for our YouTube channel to Turkish, because we found GameFed for create content for Turkey. What about charity? I always force my companies put some charity to your reward model. No, not everyone playing a game for an extrinsic reward, but coupon or something like that. And what about the surprise? You know, there is a surprise button there. It's changed every day. So click it and it comes to your email. Some player types are like this surprise email too. So this is our reward model too. This is very important for us. When you create these mock-ups and ask this kind of question, your gamification design much more valuable, much more applicable, okay? For example, for this Dragon Boat, I drove this mock-up and we work with a startup for a UI. So at the end of that, as you can see, the left part of is KPIs in Turkish, and the yield, for example, with the question mark, never been on game. So it has got social influence. You know, why you didn't enter the game and choose an avatar? Please, you make us slow. Okay, please enter the game. Please increase the sales so we can reach the reward island and we can able to choose our daily quest. So, for example, I'm going to be share another example from Turkey. As you can see, it's an insurance company and health company actually, and like a hospital. So they not allowed to use badge in because of the healthy political in hospital. But we create an avatar like this, and after they earn like academy badge or something like that, they can able to put their own avatar. They love it. And they like to see the rewards, for example. They like to collect the rewards as here too. When I enter the project, they have a profile page, as you can see, profilim. They have a profile page like this, which is not motivational, okay? Which is very typical, like phone, address, password. Why I should visit this profile again? I give my phone, I give my address. I will never visit this profile again. But when I entered the project, I said, do you know how FIFA using the profile page? Do you know how FIFA giving a points to the players? Let's give some score system to the all hospitals and pharmacy there in ecosystem. So please find me some thing that we can able to give them a score. As you can see, the personal trainings, the pharmacy walls, and stock usage, kind of. They give me a 8 target, so we updated to the every player personas this profile page, and we give a point for them, so they can like Ronaldo and Messi, they can compare each other with this profile page. So I visit this profile page, yes, every day, to see what is the difference, to see what my enemy, my competence partnership change these questions, which is very important. So that was all from me, but I like to finish my presentation with a story. Maybe we influence from FIFA, as you can see from here. I give this screenshot to the CEO of this company, and we like to create every hospital, every pharmacy with a score system like a FIFA. So they accepted it, and we create this radar map. They call it radar map, which is great, a score system to check every day. So we influence from games. So let me finish my presentation, because my presentation names actually gamification works because of science. It comes from this story. In 2010, the Farmill old Vice President Bill Mooney, he says we create a very compelling user design, and we call it know the user design. And please, everyone should join us to create more Farmville experience. Actually, yes, we are all maybe play Farmville, but we will probably include Ian Bogost was there, and Bogost said, it's a not know the user game. It's just manipulation. Is you are just doing a create some clicking system and doing some loops. And I suggested the name code clickers for, as you can see, the name. Let me not say this design style, design methodology, but I am going to create some another example with the code clickers in Farmville. Yes, he created a game. I am Bogos. Create a game called Cove Clicker. There's a cove, as you can see in here, and you can see your friend's cove too. And every 6 hours, you can only click one time for a cove, and you can collect this cove, and you can create some collection, and you can able to see your Facebook friends how many cove they have. And Ian Bogos from Columbia University he just wanted to show that how it's easy to manipulate people. Okay, if you want to click 2 times before 6 hours, you have to pay money. That's very easy. That's very understandable. But he just wanted to be ruined, and he just wanted to be angry about Farmville, and he used subs model for his actually design. He creates some content which is drawn by her daughter, and he creates some content only one day accessible. Let me give some example, like oil, British petrol oil problem. It was just a cove you can earn one day. This is the most family friendly cove drawn by Bogos daughter. This is a very spatial and very emotional cove that you can collect, you like to collect, okay? So people just love it. And after 8 months, the professor, Bogost, create a presentation called, you can see it, gamification is a bullshit. And he says, I have made all of these people click on my coves, just wanted to show how Farmville is not doing great things, but I have wasted my own time and my family's time. And that was after 18 months, even Bogost, actually great success, or maybe it's close full failure. Yes, if you reference, if you try to create some experience for everyone, you know, it works. You know, you cannot people decided to people loops. If you create a very good scientific methodology, includes subs, just I show you, people love to be click it. People love to be a part of it. And let me give you the Richard Dawkins presentation. Maybe you saw it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off here, Altug. Are you still there? I'm gonna have to cut Altug off because and I think he froze actually right now. So because we're gonna have to have a hard close in just a few minutes, and I want to make sure Philip gets up here. So off the stage.
Yes, yes, of course. I mean, the Richard Dawkins says science is always works. So I think gamification works if you believe in science and if you follow the theories, research, and all kind of these scientific methods. It always works. That's what I learned from my 4 years experience with gamification design. Thanks for today, and it was a great honor to share my knowledge with these gamification design methodologies. Don't forget about autonomy, don't forget about journey, and don't forget about create some purpose for your players. And this is my Twitter account and Instagram account. You can follow my on social media, and thank you for this great opportunity.
Thank you, Altug, and I hope that you can stay around for people to be able to visit with you for a few minutes in the next session. So thank you so much. Are you coming up, Philip?